Hi, how are you guys today? I have a new stone here that I'm going to tell you about. It's called Petrified Wood. It's a really fascinating stone in that it has a lot of really great grounding properties. So this is the stone. You can kind of see, hopefully, it looks almost like tiger's eye, a brown tiger's eye, but it's petrified wood, so it doesn't have that labradorescence to it. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to read you something here that I found. Um, but first, let me give you the particulars on it. So, petrified wood is the stone of transformation and patience. Its zodiac sign is the Leo. The planet is Neptune, vibration level 77. It's very earthy. The locations that you can find the stone are so many places worldwide. The chakra stones that resonates best with is the Earth Star, the base, the sacral, the solar plexus, and the higher heart or the thalamus. Or the thymus, sorry. Okay, so I'm going to read this to you because I found it really fascinating. This is from, which one is this? Meaningsandcrystalsandjewelry.com. So this says, petrified wood comes from the Greek root petro, which means rock or stone, with literal meaning of wood turned into stone. It's the name given to the fossilized remains of terrestrial vegetation. Petrified wood is the real result of a tree turning into stone through the process of permineralization. That's a big word. All the organic materials of the tree have been replaced with silicate minerals, usually a quartz, while maintaining the wood's original structure. Unlike other kinds of fossils that are compressed or have impressions, petrified wood is a three-dimensional representation of the original organic material. So it's really kind of fascinating. The petrification process happens underground when wood starts to get covered by sediments. It's preserved at first due to lack of oxygen. Mineral-rich water that's flowing through the sediment deposits minerals into the tree's cells. As the tree's lignin and cellulose start to decay, a stone mold also begins to form. It approximately takes 100 years to petrify. Isn't that crazy? So that's just kind of an idea of what you're dealing with when you have a stone like that. It's hundreds of years of petrification um, right in the palm of your hand, basically. It's pretty incredible stuff. So on to my notes here. It's an excellent grounding stone and grounding at high vibrations into the earth. So it carries ancient wisdom. It's obviously a very ancient stone that used to actually live and thrive and create oxygen and all of these really incredible properties to it, and now it's a stone. I just find that so fascinating. Um, it stabilizes the environment, supports the soul, and it cleanses and stabilizes all chakras. Now, just for kicks and giggles, I get a lot of my information from Judy Hall, and some of my information today is coming from ravencrystals.com. Um, and so let me finish here with this. Um, let's see. It grounds high vibration stones. So if you have other vibration stones that are really high on the list, this can actually help ground them and bring them all back to the root, basically starting fresh, if that makes sense. Um, it helps exploration of previous incarnations, uh, and you would read each ring as a lifetime. So as you can tell, like when you're trying to age a tree, you look at the rings that are formed inside if you were to cut it, and well, slice it, right? The rings tell you a year for each year. Ring tells you each year of its life. So the same thing is obviously in these stones because even though it's petrified wood, it is actually showing all of these really amazing lines, which if dissected the right way, those would be the rings of the tree, just for those of you that don't kind of understand how that plays. Um, Let's see, it helps to recall past lives. So if you're doing any kind of like past life regression, meditation techniques that delve into your past, or even hypnosis, if you if you keep this with you, it can actually really help ground you. At the same time, help pull what you're looking for out of your past so that it can bring it to light and you can deal with it. um, Okay, so holding it keeps your feet firmly on the ground while you explore multi-dimensions of reality and transforms you into a soul being of light. Again, that goes a lot with the energy healing. Really, really helps to clear that past, um, and helps ground your spirit or your soul so that you can explore that. It's kind of like astral projection, in that they teach you to ground yourself with a thread. If you're going to project, that way when you imagine your thread, it's connected to your body. So when you project, your soul or your spirit can find its way back to you, back to your body, your physical body, which I've had that happen and quite a few times, and it's jarring every single time, but I'm really grateful for that thread. Um, it really helps keep me grounded so that I know where I'm coming back to. It's good for the immune system, muscles, bones, and nervous system. Also, the aging process and diseases of old age like dementia um, and Alzheimer's. Also helps with ageism in the workplace. So if you have an issue with someone being young and is, badgering you because you're old, you don't know any better, or you how would you know anything about technology, or kind of giving you just a couple of examples, it helps to diminish that. Um, it provides strength during spiritual growth and helps one advance to the highest level and understanding of your purpose. Um, in that grounding, it's helping you discover that, your purpose in life, and helps you um, be able to focus on that so that you can get a better understanding of where you yourself is coming from. It helps release all that no longer serves the highest good and helps one turn past weaknesses into new strengths. Anything that is in your past that is kind of pulling you down, like anything that's traumatic or depressing, or just a bad situation, even good situations that can kind of inhibit you from making decisions in the future because you kind of like that area that last one took you to, that last decision, and you're like, okay, I'm just going to stay here. Well, this will help bring that up and soothe it so that you can make even better decisions for yourself, or different decisions that might help you advance and progress in your life. In grids and layouts, petrified wood assists in grounding or plugging into the earth, into the earth's electromagnetic currents, allowing for more energy to be processed by your physical body. So in that means that when you're in your crystal grids or your meditation sessions, you have this petrified wood, and it really helps ground you, but um, it really helps open up your mind, and it kind of just like becomes a telephone wire, as an example. With one person being, the person that's meditating, and the other side being the electromagnetic currents of the earth, it just helps draw all that right into you and keeps you grounded during that process. So petrified wood works well with agate, jasper, chalcedony, bloodstone, red jasper, onyx, carnelian, and opal. Um, Different variations that you can use for certain things in your grids. It is very, very spectacular. Works very well if you use it a lot with your jaspers, which are more earth-based. Of course, they're all earth-based, but jasper is a little bit more exceptionally so. I'll do a video on that later, but when you're doing your crystal grids for that, it really helps not just ground you, but accentuates. Um, So like, okay, so for instance, if you're using a money grid and you want to bring more prosperity and money into your life, financial freedoms, you would use more green stones like malachite or chalcedony or like green, what is it, like green, why can't I think of it? Anyway, green stones. So I'm really not so much always airheadedy. I'm just kind of tired tonight, so I'm trying to be able to get this out, and my words are escaping me. So follow along with me here anyway. Anyway, so when you do your grids, normally you would use stones that not only have those benefits in their makeup, also the colors you want for bringing that in. So for existence, or for example, love and kindness and generosity, you would want more pinks and reds and maybe like rose quartz. Perfect. And then if you want more like fire and spice in your life and you want more adventure, you would use orange ones like carnelian and like a fire opal or something like that, right? To bring in all of that energy. So the same thing goes along with bringing in money and financial freedoms into your life. You would use more greenstones, like the malachite. So for this particular situation, I would use this in like spiritual grounding. Even if I was going to astral project, I would use that in my grids for bringing out things from my past that I really, really want to attack and make better for myself somehow. So you could use it in your grids for anything from, say you want your own house someday. A grid would be perfect with this in it because depending on the type of ground you want, you could be like, oh, I want a ranch, or I want, I just want some property that I can go and explore on. And so that's just an example. But if you're using it for bringing in physical, I don't want to say just earthbound wants and needs, but things of that nature that you're after, works great. Works great. It helps draw in that earth energy into that grid, and your manifestations will like be just blown out of the water with it. But it, like I said, it depends on what kind of grid that you're doing. So yeah, but if you want to feel more grounded in your soul and you want to be more, you want to be a little better with your meditations and your grounding of your spirit during your meditations, even spiritual exploration, that's really great to have in your grid or in your grid layout or on your person. You can, you can put it on your third eye. You can put it on your throat chakra to help ground you so that you're not quite as shaky during communication. Things like that, really great for. So I have a very interesting situation that happened with this stone. I use it a lot at night. I keep it on my bedside table. I also carry a piece in my protection bag. Being that I'm exploring psychic abilities, I really love having this stone because it really helps not just ground, but to it has a slight protection to help with psychic attacks. So somebody that's meaning me ill will or even otherworldly, it really helps to protect with that. Also keeps you grounded in your meditation. So anyway, if you want to use it in your grid, by all means go for it. It's not going to hurt pretty much anything that you add it to. It will only really benefit. So this particular stone actually kind of saved my hiney here a couple of, well, it would be a little over a month ago. I had come across a stone known as the Super 7. Never seen one of these before, never even heard of them. Of course, there's millions of stones I haven't heard of, but that one in particular really caught my eye. There was a whole shelf of them, and they were all individually wrapped in plastic baggies, and they were separated from one another. So I kind of got a little curious. So I'm like, what is this? I've got to have one of these. So I was warned I was totally warned. Um, the gal that I bought it from, she said, well, I asked her, why are these all separated? Is there something I should know? And she was like, well, actually, they are not supposed to be in touch with any other stone because they react pretty strongly. They accentuate any other stone's force, their abilities, their energies, vibration, everything, right? Accentuates everything. So I'm like, oh, great. Yeah, okay. So tell me a little more. And she's like, well, if you don't know what you're doing, I wouldn't mess with it. So my little brain was like, I've got to have one. Yeah. So I got it. Yeah. So I held it for about 5 seconds. And my mom, who was actually standing next to me while I had this thing in my hand, said that I went ash white and that my eyes glazed over and I got really weird looking. And in my little brain at the time, I got so super ill, not like dizzy, nausea hit me. I actually felt the energy hit me on my left side. It just attacked me. I don't know what was in the stone or what that was all about. I'd never have anything like that. I've never experienced anything like that before. So it was very interesting. I was like that for about 2 to 3 hours. I eventually had to have my husband drive, who was luckily there with me, and everybody was really super worried about. I was worried about me. So I immediately made it, as soon as I got home, I immediately beelined it for my bedroom because that's where, and I didn't have this guy with me at the time, which I probably should have. And I laid down and I had this stone on my third eye, and then I had a huge chunk of yellow citrine, actually this guy right here, which helps remove negative energy and helps cleanse and clear. So I was trying to get rid of whatever this thing was that was attacking me, and I did the best thing I could until I got these things on me, and I was still so sick for almost an hour. I tried to sleep through it. I couldn't. I was having an anxiety attack. My head started hurting. I felt like I was having a migraine. I hadn't had migraines in months. And so whatever it was that got a hold of me latched on pretty fairly intensely. So longer story shorter, this little guy here helped me. So if I can give you one piece of advice, it would be get yourself one of these. And no matter what, for whatever reason you think you might need it, get one and keep it next to you. Because you never know, as an empath, or even not as an empath, what you're going to encounter. Because even though you're not an empath, or if you are not, rather, it could still affect you. You just won't know where it's coming from. Me being an empath, I knew exactly. I thought I was going to die, and the next thing I know, I had to go and ground and cleanse my energy. It was unreal. However, after that, I cleansed my Super 7 and have not had the same reaction since. So super intense. But this little guy here helped me. Petrified wood. There it is. Real simple. About the size of a quarter. Helped clear that. So that is my smaller story. I am going to wrap it up for now. I will follow this up with another video. I am thinking of the yellow citrine, so I may do one on that one. I guess we'll find out at this point. So thank you for tuning in today. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a happy hunting for stones like this one, which you should have. And thank you so much again for today. I appreciate your time. If you like what I've said, go ahead and subscribe. If not, subscribe anyway. And then leave me some questions. If there's something I haven't covered, please, by all means, let me know. Ask me some questions. Get involved, and we'll work through it together. That's the fun part. Goodbye, my lovelies.